What is this weird necklace looking thing? And why do I think that God used it to perform a miracle for me? So this is called a scapular. It's two little brown pieces of wool attached with a cord. You wear it around your neck. The back part hangs down between your scapula bones in the back, hence the name scapular. It is what is known in Catholic world as a sacramental. Other examples of sacramentals are rosaries or holy medals. According to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, sacramentals signify effects, particularly of a spiritual nature, like grace, God's assistance. Sacramentals are also known as mini sacraments. So our sacraments are seven sacraments like baptism, confession, holy matrimony. They are more direct and powerful conduits of God's grace. They can also help to prepare us for the sacraments. They are aids in our spiritual life. Now, this is different from the pagan idea of amulets. Pagans believe that amulets in and of themselves have power. The amulet is the thing that has the power, is kind of the entity in and of itself. That's not what Catholics believe about sacramentals. Sacramentals, like I said, they're more of like conduits of God's grace. God uses these things. It's not the things in and of themselves that have the power. That would be superstition. The scapular is what is known as a garment of grace, and it is particular to Marian devotion. Think of a judge when he puts on those black robes. He is signifying that he is clothing himself in the authority of the state. The same with the scapular. You're clothing yourself in Mary's prayers and assistance for us before the throne of God. Mary says that when you wear it, it means that you are continually thinking of her, and she in turn is continually thinking of you. I was taught from a small child to wear the scapular. I've worn the scapular, pretty much all my life. And I remember reading the stories of miracles wrought by God through the scapular. For instance, a row of houses is all in flames, and they all burn to the ground except for the one house that has a door or a scapular hanging on the doorknob.
Soon after I filmed this video, I saw a post on X by Father Dave Nix relating pretty much the exact story about the burned houses that I just told, but it happened just a couple days ago in the LA fires. The post reads in part, "I just talked to a married friend on the phone in Los Angeles who took this picture from his front yard of his neighbor's home. Many of the homes around him burned down, but his home had the purple scapular, and they doused the home in holy water. Their home is fine." A purple scapular is a house scapular, essentially. It's a scapular for your entire house. I just had to share this. I mean, obviously it's relevant to what I was just talking about, and it's truly amazing.
Here in the States in the 1950s, a young boy, he's pumping his bicycle tire up at the gas station. The gas station explodes. He's got his clothes burnt and blown off of him, except for the scapular that he was wearing. The scapular is intact, and the boy was alive. I think he had a couple burns, but the scapular being completely intact when all of his clothes were burned and blown off, I think signifies that this is what saved him. It was Mary's protection and intercession for this boy before God that saved him. So what about my story? So my little family, so my husband, my daughter, and I, this is when my first daughter was 1 or 2. She wasn't more than 2. So we set out to go to Mass on a Sunday morning. My husband buckles my daughter into her car seat. He closes the car door. The car's running. The keys are in the ignition. The car is running. He shuts the door, and the doors all lock inexplicably. And the car has not done that before or since. It was very strange. So there's no spare key. My daughter's buckled in her car seat. The car's running. What do we do? I just immediately start panicking. My husband, who is much more level-headed than I, is on the phone. He's calling, locksmiths to see if there's anybody who will come out, drive out to the countryside on a Sunday morning to unlock a car. And meantime, my daughter is very upset with the situation as well. And she's screaming. She's reaching at me through the window. And it was just the sickest feeling I had. Your baby is crying and screaming and reaching for you, and you can't do anything about it. It's like, does she think that this is a sick joke? And I'm just kind of smiling and trying to talk to her through the window, and she's screaming for me. So I'm pretty upset. She's upset. So I try talking to her. I try singing all her favorite songs, nothing is calming her down, and she's getting pretty hysterical at this point. So I pull off my scapular. So at the time, I had a brightly colored embroidery of Our Lady of Guadalupe on my scapular, and she liked to pull it out and look at it. And so I pull out my scapular. I press it to the window so she can see the scapular, the image that she likes, and I start singing "Hail, Holy Queen," which is a Marian hymn, and I sing it, and I sing it for a minute or two. And when I'm done with it, I realize she's asleep. And what was really weird about it was that I don't remember seeing her fall asleep. There was no process of she's calming down, she's getting sleepy, oh, she's asleep. I just stopped, and it was like she snap of the fingers, she was asleep. But I felt very strongly in that moment that God had performed a miracle for me through Our Lady's intercession. I called upon my spiritual mother, and she was there for me in my moment of great need, and I felt just this instant relief and gratitude wash over me. This isn't a huge miracle like the ones that I just recounted. This wasn't a life or death situation, but it meant a lot to me that my spiritual mother was there for me in my moment of need. And I think that is very indicative of Our Lady's care for her children. So, what about you? Do you wear a scapular? And you don't have to be Catholic to wear one. Please comment below, give this video a like, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.
So rainbows and unicorns are beautiful. Everybody can love each other if they want to and have good manners. Adults can do whatever they can do.